Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm gonna be doing a couple build videos from the PTS for 1.6. These will be builds catered towards both PvE and PvP, but as of now there's a huge bug with Valkyria that allows people to stack infinite amounts of damage, which creates a lot of problems in PvP play. So not many people are in the Dark Zone, and people who are just abusing the exploit. And it's not really possible to test any PvP content until PTS week 2. So right now, um, I did made I did make a PvP build anyways, just because um, I did play a little bit of PvP before the exploit became well known, and it was really effective with this build. So taking a look at it, we're using all high end. So this was one of the competitive builds in 1.5 as well that people were using. But Alpha Bridge still had the edge, but it was really strong anyways. And I believe in 1.6 it's going to be one of the best DPS builds out there because assault rifles are still really strong with the with the nerfs to hipfire as well. Assault rifles are going to keep being just as strong in my opinion, and you can see the stats are as follows. Pretty high DPS. In this patch, I don't suggest trying to stack a ton of health because skill power is um, is becoming less effective at early levels, meaning that you're not going to be getting a lot of heals if you have a lot of health. So we're trying to balance out our toughness with our skill power. As you can see, I'm using one electronic piece here, and then also using a specialized backpack to get my skill power up to that 150k range, which is basically the minimum line that you need to be at to be any useful with your skills. If you try to go with like 90k skill power, you're gonna get shit on, and I'm not lying to you. So this is 150k skill power, 351k DPS, and 360 toughness. It's pretty balanced in my opinion. Let's take a deeper look into our pieces. We're going to be running a Barrett's Bulletproof Chest. It's also a great addition. So no skills off cooldown. We have 10% skill power. When one skill is on cooldown, we have a 5% damage increase. And then both skills are on cooldown. Um, we should get an armor increase, as you can see. So it's a pretty good piece to run on the chest. I would suggest on our mask, you can either go for refreshed, which is healing improved by 30% while at last health segment, so it's pretty effective. Also, if you're looking for more of a damage dealing type of stuff, you can go for increased damage by 10% after using a medkit. It is also quite effective and nice in my opinion. Then taking a look at our pads, the fuse time on grenades is reduced to 0.20 seconds. This is actually a great talent to run, especially in PvP, that just completely allows you to hit every grenade and um, disables your opponent's ability to dodge your grenades. Like, bam! Oh, you wanna EMP someone? They try to dodge it? No, just bam! Instantaneous grenades. It's pretty nice, and the best knee pads to go for is obviously short bow championship pads. So as a holster, I went with nimble. Now, looking at the holster talents, I couldn't really find anything that's good for me. I went with nimble because it was a pretty decent piece, but I mean, I've never found myself using this or using any cover to cover move, but maybe the further nerfs to hipfire will make these cover to cover moves a bit more efficient because it just doesn't really feel that good right now. Let's You can run while bleeding, so let's try to get a nimble heal off. Didn't proc. Alright. Now, the first aid doesn't remove status effects, by the way. Heal 2% of max health for every 1 meter covered. Run in cover to cover during. Ah, okay, alright. It didn't work because I had to be in combat. Alright. So, yeah. I mean, if you can pull it off during PvP, it could be a decent chunk of heal, I guess. But I'm not really too sure. Then the gloves are Skull MC gloves. These are must-have. Damage increased by 16% when no gear set bonuses are active. This is really solid, and it's something you definitely should have. And then, obviously, as I talked about, specialized backpack. And our gun, I'm running a Lavoa. I found an lightweight M4, which would be better, but it has intense, and I can't roll it off. So it's a problem here. So that's why we're rolling with the Lavoa. Vicious, destructive, and responsive are my talents of choice. I believe these are the three best talents you could get. You can add in some unforgiving, maybe brutal, but responsive, vicious, and destructive seem to be the best to me. And we are sitting at an enemy armor damage value of 55%, which is pretty decent. And the base damage is 21.5k for the Lavoa. It is a bit unstable, I have to say. So I'll have a couple of tips for you for the long range combat, maybe in a future video, to make these weapons a bit more stable. But this was it, guys. This was one of my PvP DPS builds I could run. Let's take a look at our heals, actually. Um, I'm running with the overheal because even though booster gives me more resistance, the heal on it is just ridiculously low. That's why I'm running a self-heal overdose that's giving me 140,000, which is, I mean, good enough. Taking a look at my health is at 240, so it's not that bad, not that bad. So if I were to pop it here, it's not that bad of a heal, so it's the bare minimum that you have to have. And I'm running all first aid self heal mods as well, so this is pretty nice. I try to pop the first aid when both skills are off cooldown, so I get the extra skill power from Barret's chest as well. Taking a look at our talents here, nothing too special. Triage is always really good. On the move is reduced to 15%, but I still choose it because it's one of the only sources of damage reduction on the talents. And then critical save is also reduced to 20%, but I still take it because medkit use is still could be done at last health segment, and just a nice bonus here. And I wouldn't I actually went with strike back here, but you could go with something else. Like since we're using nimble, you could go with tactical advance, but it's only reduced to 5 seconds, which is a bit of a problem here. So strike back is a good option. I don't see what else you could do. Um, Use a medkit when not at full health to receive an overheal. This should have been changed, adrenaline, but I guess the description didn't change. I mean, other than that, nothing really looks to be that important. Maybe you can go with precision if you're not running pulse, but yeah, that's pretty much the build. I think it's gonna be solid when 1.6 comes out, so start farming for that Barret's chest, guys. Catch you on the next one.